Oh, hey there. I'm in my car. And this is Widowed, a shitstorm. And because I'm in my car, you get to see me at my bestest angle ever. Me and all my chins. But yeah, seriously, this is happening because I just have so much shit to say right now that I'm just gonna do this on my drive home from work. I'm stopped right now, so I can touch this. I will otherwise drive safely. Yeah, so hey, Widowed, a shitstorm. If you don't know what this is, or who I am, my name's Maggie, and I am a widow, if you hadn't guessed. I am also, important to know, I am a suicide widow. So my husband, Mark, who I miss very dearly, and who is a wonderful human being, took his own life 2 years ago, this past Monday, actually. So it was July 2nd, 2016. Today's July 5th, 2018. Yeah. Anyway, so I want to preface this with a few things. In short, I have no fucks left to give. They are gone. I don't know where they went. I didn't really have many for a while anyways, but they are now officially gone. And you should consider yourself warned. So if you don't like swearing, because I'm from New England and we call it swearing, not cussing, if you don't like that, you should not watch this. If you don't want to hear anything about sex, you should not watch this. If you are related to me or otherwise friends with me and would not like to hear me in particular talking about sex, you should not watch this. If you are a judgmental asshole, watch it if you want, but please keep your opinions to yourself. Let's see. What else can I warn you about? I don't know. I mean, if you're like easily offended, or if you have a weird time or a hard time talking about suicide, and basically all this falls into the judgmental asshole category, yeah, then just don't watch this. Because basically, it's a shit storm. That's what it is. Being widowed is a shit storm. So, we'll call this one episode 2. And in this episode, my dead husband Mark is playing tricks on me, I think. So, if you know me and you've been following me, you know that I recently joined the Tinder. I'm also aware that it's not called the Tinder. I just like to call it the Tinder because it's way more fun that way. So Mark died 2 years ago, and then I haven't really dated. I wouldn't call it dating. I was a floozy is what I called it for a while. I had a floozy stage, and for 2 years, lots of things happened. There were some inappropriate relationships and hooking up and things like that, and mostly with people I probably shouldn't have been involved with. And the thing about all those people, they all knew about Mark before, and they knew, like, before we ever hooked up or anything, and they knew how he died. And I recently started to be able to say this, there's a certain level of comfort in that. I kind of knew it was a phase, and I knew it wouldn't last forever, and I knew it was a comfortable thing, and I knew, like, they probably weren't the best choices to make. But it was just, I could only handle so much, and it was in my comfort zone. So did lots of things with people that I probably shouldn't have. But I did, no regrets. But it all changed a few weeks ago. Kind of had an epiphany. There was something that happened, and then it was like, oh, that's what Tinder's for. So I'm on the phone with my best friend, Shayla. And, she said, well, now that you're aware that some of those choices maybe aren't the best, maybe you can make those choices with other people. And she said, you can still be a hoe if you want, but, get Tinder and then you never have to see them again. And I said, wow, you're the best friend ever. Thank you for the great advice. And, it seriously was like a switch flicked, or a switch, something turned on. And I was like, oh, that's what Tinder's for. I get it. Now, mind you, a little bit about me and the Tinder. So my roommates were on it. One of them, we basically forced to get it. But they had success on it. And I used to, watch them swiping, and they just swipe left and left and left, and I'd be like, God, you guys are so judgmental. It's like, talk about judging a book by its cover, and I'd be all like, you're just so mean. Give someone a chance, right? Except I also said I was never going to go on the Tinder myself because it just sounded way too intimidating. I also had PTSD, so I'm a little bit afraid of strangers. But I really was like, I'm not doing that. That sounds terrible. I'm also not interested or looking for a serious relationship. But I didn't want to just be like more of a floozy, because I kind of thought that was the issue, not the people that I was doing floozy-ish things with. But yeah, so all of a sudden it clicked. I was like, oh, that's what Tinder's for. I got it. It's been a week and a half, mind you, a whole week and a half, and it's been, I could write a freaking book. But it's fun. A big thing, the main thing that I realized is what I really, really want is to meet new people, and like, because I mean, I think that seems obvious and kind of trite, but I really do want to meet new people and be out there in the world, not held back by the fact that I'm a suicide widow. Because even though I'm incredibly outspoken about so many things, I really did keep to a circle of people I was comfortable with. And I was like, I realized I want to get out of that, and I want to spread my wings or something and meet new people and socialize. Probably make a bigger impact that way. So, was terrified to swipe right at first. Let me tell you, I have some rules. So, some rules that I have, first of all, if you have a nose ring, and I'm straight, so if a guy has a nose ring, I swipe left. If he has a face tattoo, I swipe left. If he has a tattoo of a cross or something religious on him, I generally swipe left because I'm not particularly religious. I'm a very spiritual person, and that has shifted since Mark died, but not religious, so I swipe left. Let's see, if he's wearing a Yankees cap, I swipe left. My husband was a Marine, so at first, if he was a Marine, I swiped left. I've stopped doing that because I realized that Marines are my people, and there's actually a reason I'm so comfortable with them. And like, if you're in the military, you basically, you kind of just get it, so there's an easy connection there. But at first I was swiping left on them. Then if you were in the Navy, because I'm like a Marine snob, I would swipe left if you're in the Navy. Air Force, forget it. Sorry, swiping left on that. If you had, the big thing was if your name is Mark with a K or a C, or Marcus, or Marco, or Mario, or I actually saw someone whose name was John Mark. Anything with Mark, it's left. There's no Marks. And like when my Mark died, my roommate was dating someone named Mark, who we've kind of always called by his last name. Then she gets on Tinder, and I actually helped her pick this guy she ended up dating, who they are not dating anymore, but they're like the best of friends now. Also named Mark, but spelt with a C. We call him by his first and last name. But like, really, like, that's enough. Enough with the Marks. Just no more. I have a few other rules about names, like if you have the same name as my dad or my brother's, my best friend Shayla's boyfriend or ex, or, anybody, I'm very particular about the names, so I just don't want to date someone who has the same name as my dad. Except the problem is that in my generation, everybody seems to have the same name as my dad and my brother, both of my brothers. Basically all men about my age, they're Ryan, Brian, Kyle, or Sean. Lots of Stevens, which is my younger brother's name. Lots of Toms, Tommies, which is my dad's name. And beyond that, they all have beards. They all fish. And they all have dogs. Unless they have a cat. If they have a cat, I swipe left, because I'm deathly allergic to cats, and I just don't do that. But, like, they're all the same. They're kind of just all the same. But again, the one rule, like the main rule, I'm willing to bend a few things, but if your name is Mark, it's just not happening. Just no. And I swear to you, everyone that I find very attractive, I'll be like, oh, he's cute, and I look down and his name's Mark. Like, not even fucking kidding. It's like, oh yeah, that one's cute, let me guess, his name's Mark. There it is, it's Mark. So, yeah, but no, we swiped left on the Marks. Yesterday, it was 4th of July, I was hanging out with my roomies. One of them actually, we were having so much fun with all my Tindering that she decided to reopen her account again, and we came across some, and I said, oh, but you cannot swipe on him because his name is Mark, so you have to go left. You have to swipe left on the Marks. Have I made my point? So, here's where it gets to my dead husband is playing tricks on me, / why you might not want to watch this. So last night, so yesterday was 4th of July, and we may have gotten drunk at our house. So we is like me and my roomies and our unofficial roomie, who was basically always there. And then a couple of other friends were over, and we watched fireworks, and we had lots of fun, and I was drinking lots and lots of gin and tonic, except it wasn't tonic, it was LaCroix bubbly water because it tastes really good and it's bubbly, which actually doesn't go over very well with my stomach, but I was drinking that, but it was like water, so I was staying hydrated. So I was like, okay, this is great. That really has nothing to do with anything. But the point is, I was a little bit drunk. And then my roomies and I, who were also drunk, we decided that we would just stay up and sing Salt and Pepper, and like we were singing some 90s music. Oh my gosh, what else were we singing? We were singing a lot of Beyonce. And, you know, then we decided to eat things that we probably shouldn't have been eating at 1 in the morning. And then everybody was like going to bed, and I get messages, because I've been swiping all day in my slightly inebriated state. Start getting some messages. Now, first of all, I should not be allowed a phone when I drink. I'm aware of this. It is not safe. I'm ridiculous. I should not be allowed a phone. However, I have a phone. So I get a message from someone on the Tinder, and I don't really want to say his name, but so he has this name. It's a short name. It's 1 syllable. It's 2 letters, whatever. So he messages me. I don't remember what he said. All I know, it was very quickly, we were flirting, you know, like you do on Tinder. And for the record, I'm very clear that Tinder is like hookup central. I do not expect to go meet my next husband. I don't even know if I want a next husband. A next husband. I don't really want an ex-husband either. But I don't know if I want a next husband. But I do have friends who have met their significant others, their spouses on Tinder. And I have plenty of people that have made lots of friends on Tinder. So as much as I'm aware of what it's for, and don't get me wrong, in a week and a half I've totally enjoyed what Tinder is mostly used for, but you know, I also have enjoyed chatting with other people. I mean, there's someone that I'm supposed to go out with this weekend that I already told him, I was like, we're not going to be floozies together because I actually kind of like you, which I was so not prepared for. But like, there's decent, respectable human beings out there that really just want to meet people and aren't complete pigs. And even though I'm as much of a pig as anybody, you know, it's nice to meet someone you can just talk to. But this was not that. This message from last night. It was not that. It was typical Tinder stuff. And I was a little drunk. So I go to bed. And I get in bed. And he said a thing. And then I said a thing. I don't even remember what I said. And then I said, fuck it. Fine. You should come over. So I did that. And then I immediately regretted it, and I said, no, maybe we should hang out tomorrow. And he said, I can be there in like 15 minutes. So I said, okay, fine. So I did that. For the record, this is my first ever, I noticed that the more excited and embarrassed and slightly like ridiculous I get, the louder I feel like I'm screaming at my phone. But yeah, so I've done lots of things, but I would not say that I've ever done what most people would call a booty call. Something in the realm of that, but not with a complete stranger. But I just decided to do that. And, yeah, invited a stranger over to my house. Did that. Mind you, you gotta be safe about these things. So my roommates were both home. And, you know, you do like the whole safe, you gotta be safe people. Have protected sex and all that. But yeah, and he wasn't even really that gross or creepy. He was actually a very nice guy. Anyway, we do that. And that was, you know, a good time. I'm very proud of myself. Pat myself on the back. I've come a long way since Mark died. I used to be super uptight. I'm still a little bit uptight. I'm still a little bit cringing about the fact that I'm even posting this in a video. Yeah. Yeah, gotta tell you, super fun. I understand the Tinder. I think everybody should be safe and take advantage of a booty call now and then, or at least once in your life to say you did it. It was completely worth it. So then we're like sitting in bed in the dark because I don't want to actually look at this human, even though he's a very attractive man and he's a very sweet guy. And it was very clear, like, it was super, for what it was super appropriate and safe, and like, hey, I wanted that and you wanted that, and we used protection, and like, you know, so there's that. Again, for what it was very respectable. So then we're talking, and he says his name, and then he goes, oh, so that's actually a nickname, the 1 syllable 2-letter name that I'm trying to not say. And he says, oh, that's actually a nickname, and he said, but that's what most people call me. So I the idiot that I am, ask him, oh, so what's your real name? I bet y'all can't guess what his real name is. It might start with an and end with an arc. His real fucking name is Mark. I had a Mark in my bed, and I had sworn that there would never, ever, ever be a Mark ever again. And there he was. He lied to me. You can't trust anyone. You think you can. On a Tinder booty call. Again, let's just put aside the general inappropriateness of this whole thing. And remember that it was for what it was. It was a very respectable situation. But yeah, his fucking name was Mark. So I'm in my bed and he says, oh, it's Mark. And I went, ha ha. I said, with a K or a C. He says, K, which is how my husband spelled it. And I just lost my